boy. Welcome back to Bedtime Storytime. Are you ready for today's story? We are Star Trek, The Prisoner of Vega. Wow. Written by Sharon Lerner and Christopher Kirk. Illustrated by Robert Swanson. Yeah. Let's see what happens today in this adventure of the Starship Enterprise. The crew of the starship USS Enterprise was on its way to planet Vega 3 to sign a treaty with the vegans. Vega 3 had a large supply of corium, a rare metal used to build new starships. The United Federation of Planets needed corium. The vegans were going to give it to the Federation. Wow, that's nice of them. Captain James T. Kirk was busy at his command chair on the bridge. Chief Helmsman Sulu steered the ship while Lieutenant Uhura watched the view screen. Mr. Spock checked the dials at his library computer station. Spock was the only member of the crew who was not from Earth. He had the pointed ears of a Vulcan, and all the people of the planet Vulcan are very exact. Captain, said Spock, we will reach vegan space in exactly 7 minutes and 36 seconds. Captain Kirk smiled. Thank you, Mr. Spock, he said. The ruler of Vega is an old friend of mine. I'll be very happy to sign the new corium treaty with her, but I'll be even happier to see her again. Wow. This is a great story. All of a sudden, Uhura called to the captain. I'm getting a message from Vega 3, she said. Can you get us a closer look on the view screen? Asked Kirk. Uhura flicked a switch and the face of a beautiful woman filled the large view screen. Starship Enterprise, said the woman. We do not want you here. You have 2 hours to leave vegan space forever. If you do not, we will blow up your ship. I, Vanadala, ruler of Vega 3, have spoken. Captain Kirk was very surprised. I don't understand. Your Highness, he cried. You asked us to come to sign a treaty. You said you were going to give us corium. The plot thickens. Maybe this will help you understand, Captain Kirk, said Vanadala. No sooner had the Queen spoken than a bright light flashed across the view screen. Then, blast! The ship was hit by the powerful force of a giant phaser beam. The view screen went black and the Enterprise crew hit the floor. Not the floor. Yeah. I can't believe it either. Captain Kirk jumped to his feet and ran to the nearest intercom. Red alert! Red alert! He shouted. The crew got busy at once. Chief Engineer Scott called the bridge from the engine room. His crew was already making repairs. Don't worry, Captain, he said. We can fix all the damage. Next, Captain Kirk called Dr. McCoy in the sick bay. Is anyone badly hurt, Bones? He asked. A few men have cuts and bruises, Jim, that's all, answered Dr. McCoy. Then Kirk and Mr. Spock hurried to the transporter room. This is not at all logical, said Spock. The vegans do not like war, and they do not have weapons that could fight a starship. Yet they have just attacked our ship. Something is very wrong on Vega 3, said the captain. When they reached the transporter room, Dr. McCoy and Scotty were waiting for them. We are going to beam down to Vega 3, said Captain Kirk. "We have only 2 hours to find out what's wrong. Scotty, you're in charge while we're gone. If you do not hear from us in 2 hours, remember, 2 hours, check our coordinates and beam us back to the ship. Double quick." Yeah, they're gonna beam down. Let's find out what that means. Kirk, McCoy, and Spock stood on the transporter discs. Each man looked at his chronometer to make sure he had the same time. Then Captain Kirk shouted, "Energize!" and the 3 men faded and disappeared. Whoa! In an instant, they appeared on Vega 3. Mr. Spock pointed to the gates that surrounded a beautiful palace. "My tricorder shows that there is life in the direction of the palace," he said. The Enterprise crewmen headed for the gates. "Keep your phasers ready, men," said Captain Kirk. Yeah. 3 guards stood just inside the palace gates. Yeah. "Halt in the name of the Klingon Empire," they called. "Klingons!" cried Dr. McCoy. Yeah. "I thought I'd smelled something rotten on this planet." Yeah, Klingons are smelling rotten. Yeah. "Set your phasers on heavy stun," ordered the captain. "Fire!" The 3 Klingon guards fell to the ground. Pew, pew, pew. Yeah, they fell to the ground. "Queen Vanadila must be a prisoner inside the palace," said Mr. Spock. "I think you're right, Spock," said the doctor. "But the palace must be filled with Klingons. How are we going to save her?" "Don't worry, Bones," said Kirk. "I have a plan. Let's change clothes with these Klingon guards." Yeah, what a great plan. That's never been done before. Doesn't that look like Space Station K7 to you too? Yeah? Let's continue reading. Dressed in the Klingon guards' clothes, the Enterprise crew could search the planet Vega 3 without any trouble. Everywhere they went, they saw Klingon soldiers with weapons. The soldiers were making the people of Vega 3 work for them. Oh dear. Slavery. In a large valley nearby the palace, they saw vegans loading corium into a Klingon spacecraft. Uh-oh. "It would seem that the Klingons need corium too," said Spock, "but they use it to build their warships." "We must stop them," said Captain Kirk. "What are we waiting for?" cried McCoy. "Let's get going." What are they waiting for indeed? The Klingon guard at the door of the throne room held up his hand when he saw Kirk and the others dressed up as Klingons. "No one goes through this door without orders from the commander," said the Klingon guard. "Quick, Spock," whispered Captain Kirk. "Give him the Vulcan nerve pinch." "My pleasure, Captain," said Spock. He put his hand on the back of the guard's neck and the guard fell to the floor. Yeah, to the floor. Kirk, Spock and McCoy stepped quickly into the throne room. At a long table, covered with food, sat a huge, fierce-looking Klingon. Queen Vanadila's large throne was empty. "It is Commander Kaylor," whispered Spock. "Oh, it is Commander Kaylor," whispered Spock. "The meanest Klingon of them all. I have met him before." Ooh, the plot thickens. Again. Kaylor looked up at the 3 men. "How dare you bother me while I am eating? And you," he said, pointed at Mr. Spock. "Take off your helmet when you face your leader." Kirk and McCoy looked worried. They knew when Kaylor saw Mr. Spock's ears, he would know who they really were. Spock slowly started to take off his helmet. Oh no, he's going to be found out. With the helmet off, Spock's pointed ears could be easily seen. Commander Kaylor jumped to his feet. "Guards, surround that Vulcan and his friends," shouted Kaylor. The Klingon guards quickly surrounded Kirk's crew. Commander Kaylor pointed to Spock. "Mr. Spock of the USS Enterprise, we have met before." That's what Spock said. Then Kaylor smiled and turned to Kirk. "Captain James Kirk and Dr. McCoy, welcome to Vega 3. "Where is Queen Vanadala?" shouted Captain Kirk. "You will soon find out," said Kaylor. "Guards, take their weapons and communicators and lock these busybodies up with the Queen. In exactly 1 hour, they will all be shot to death." Dun dun dun. Oh dear. The Klingon guards seized the phasers and communicators. Then they took the crew down a long hallway that led to a large prison cell. The Klingon guards pushed the Enterprise crewmen into the cell. Queen Vanadella was there, looking very worried. Does she look worried to you? The Queen jumped up and ran to the captain. "I am sorry for what has happened, Captain Kirk," she cried. "We were getting ready for your visit when we got a phony signal from the Klingons. We thought their ship was the Enterprise, so we let them beam down. They attacked our people and took over the palace. There was nothing I could do against Kaylor. We are a peaceful people." "Don't worry, Your Highness," said Kirk. "We know the Klingons want your corium to build their warships, but I have a plan already." That's what he said. "When I give the signal, let me say goodbye to my crew. You must stand next to Kaylor. Do you understand?" "I think so," said the Queen. She doesn't understand. Nor do we all. An hour later, Commander Kaylor came to the prison cell with 2 guards. "I am glad that you are all good friends," he said. "You can all die together. Long live the Klingon Empire." Captain Kirk stepped forward. "Commander Kaylor," he said, "the United Federation of Planets wants corium to build ships for peace. We know you want corium to build ships for war. If you kill us, you will be breaking our treaty. You will never get away with it." "Who cares about your silly treaty?" said Kaylor. "The Klingons are a fighting people. We love war. Guards, take these people outside and shoot them." Uh-oh. The Enterprise crewmen and Queen Vanadala were taken outside the palace. They stood in front of a firing squad. Commander Kaylor got ready to give the order to shoot. Mr. Spock leaned over and whispered in the captain's ear. "Just 3 minutes and 40 seconds before Scotty beams us back to the ship," he said. "Wait, Kaylor," shouted Captain Kirk. "Let's make a deal. You want the corium, and we want to live. Promise to let us go, and we will show you our new secret way to mine corium. It will save you a lot of time." Ooh, sounds like he's stalling. Dr. McCoy could not believe what he was hearing. "Jim," he said, "you can't mean that." He grabbed the captain's arm. Mr. Spock put his hand on Dr. McCoy's shoulder. "You should know by now, Doctor," said Spock, "that the captain always means what he says." Queen Vanadala looked at Captain Kirk. "Jim," she said, "I thought you were my friend." Captain Kirk held the Queen's arm. "Well, Kaylor," said Kirk, "do we have a deal?" "I know you Earth people," said Kaylor. "If I let you go, you will do everything you can to stop us. You must die." As the firing squad stepped forward to shoot, Kirk glanced at his chronometer. Chronometer. Only 15 seconds left, he thought. "Before you kill us," cried Captain Kirk, "let me say goodbye to my crew." Just at that moment, Queen Vanadala stepped forward. "Please wait," she cried. "No more waiting," shouted Kaylor. "I will shoot you all myself." Oh no! How are Kirk, Spock and McCoy going to get out of this one? Let's turn the page and find out. Commander Kaylor raised his weapon and pointed it at Captain Kirk. But as he was about to pull the trigger, an amazing thing happened. Everyone, Kirk, Spock, McCoy, Vanadala and Kaylor, vanished. Wow! Wonder what all this is about. Oh! Seconds later, they all found themselves in the transporter room aboard the Enterprise. Security guards grabbed Kaylor on the double. Good work, Scotty. You beamed us up just in time. Guards, put Commander Kaylor in the brig until we can drop him off at the prison on Starbase 2. After the 3 crewmen changed into their own uniforms, the captain invited Queen Vanadala to the bridge. Dr. McCoy and Spock were there to welcome her. "Thank the stars, Captain," said the Queen. "I was afraid you had turned against us. But how did you get us beamed up to the ship at just the right moment?" "It was easy, Your Highness," said Kirk. "Scotty had orders to beam us up if he didn't hear from us in 2 hours. I made that deal with Kaylor to stall for time, but I didn't know if you and Kaylor would be transported with us. That's why I told you to stand next to him when you heard my signal." "The people of Vega 3 are most thankful for all you have done for us, Captain," said Vanadala. "Now that I am no longer a prisoner, my people will be able to free themselves from the Klingons, and we will be able to sign that Corium Treaty for you." How nice. When the Corium Treaty was signed, the Queen said goodbye to the crew and beamed back to Vega 3. Dr. McCoy turned to the captain. "That was a good job of acting you did down there, Jim," he said. "Kaylor almost believed you were going to make a deal with him." Mr. Spock raised one of his eyebrows. "Kaylor was not the only one who was almost fooled," said Spock. "I believe I heard some doubt in your voice too, Doctor." "Nonsense, Spock," said Dr. McCoy. "I never doubted the captain for a minute." Mr. Spock was about to argue with Dr. McCoy, but a look from Captain Kirk made him think better of it. The captain smiled and turned to his helmsman. "Mr. Sulu," he said, "lay in a course for Starbase 2. We want to drop off Commander Kaylor at the prison. Well, Factor 4, speed ahead. Full speed ahead." Wow, and that was the end. And now we have a stargazing tip from Mr. Spock. Vega is a real star. What? It's one of the brightest ones visible from the Earth. You'll have no trouble spotting it as the sky gets dark during the evenings of July and early August. Just go outside and look due east. You'll find bluish-white Vega slightly more than halfway up the sky. With each passing night, Vega gets a bit brighter, higher, until by early September you'll see it shining almost directly overhead at dusk. Vega is the most brilliant of the 3 bright stars that make up what is known as the Great Summer Triangle. At nightfall in July and August, look for Deneb and Alta, the only 2 stars in the triangle, twinkling below Vega in the east. Wow, so it's like a Bermuda Triangle of the stars. We got Vega in the top, Deneb, and then Alta, the Northern Cross, and the Great Summer Triangle. Do you know what's better than the Northern Cross? The Southern Cross. And there goes the Star Trek Enterprise. Wow, what a great story. What was your favourite part? Mine too. Okay, ready? Now put up your hand. We're going to do the Vulcan hand salute. That's it. You have to say, "Live long and prosper." Is he doing it? Okay, good. Live long and prosper. Yeah!